La 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 la. Well, hello and welcome to this Wednesday's Movie News. I am John. It's Tuesday. Tuesday's Movie News. I am John, here to speak about more movie news. You know you've lost the plot already. When you've lost a day, it's because of the bank holiday Easter weekend. I assure you I'm not losing my marbles. I don't think I'd know if I was, but I did lose a day. It's Tuesday, and I'm here to speak about movie news. And as you can see from the headline, if you've clicked on the link, I'm speaking about Earth 2, I'm speaking about a new horizon, a new dawn for the DCEU with Matt Reeves and one Arbats, aka Robert Pattinson, leading the way. It's been confirmed that his iteration of the Batman is going to be taking place in Earth 2, a very different universe within the DC side of things to what we are, used to watching. And this opens up a whole array of opportunities for the characters within. First and foremost, I'm not getting into Superman just now, but I'll try and bring it back very briefly, man, because I'm a bit of a shambles here. That's not the correct graphic at all. I've not even put the graphics up. It's a shambles, guys. I'm running late. I'm framing it through Superman, that's what I'm getting at. I'm going to quickly, furiously, whilst I speak, try and put all these correct topics up for the actual show we're doing tonight, not yesterday's show. I'm framing it through Superman, but I want to speak about Batman first and foremost. There is some very interesting prospects for Batman in this Earth 2, and it's still not working. I don't know what's going on here. We may just have to forego the actual graphics for tonight. It's a shame, because I actually done the work on them. But yeah, it looks as though they're not working, they've not been saved in the correct place or nothing. It's an absolute fucking shambles, to be quite frank with you. It's some start to the show. But yeah, needless to say, I was going to frame it. There they're there. That's the graphics there. There we go. We'll bring it up. We'll bring it up one at a time. There we go. I was framing it through Superman, and will he be joining the Batman in this universe? But I want to speak about the Batman in Earth 2 first and foremost, because I did just do a deep dive into the Batman in this Earth 2 universe, and he is a very different beast indeed. He's a gun-toting, gun-obsessed Batman, and I think that kind of plays into what we've seen with Arbats' version of the Batman. He is very much a man who is... He's a suit built with guns. He seems to be wielding ammunition on his suit. It looks as though he's going to be a more brutal, a more, I don't know, aggressive hands-on Batman to anything we've ever seen before. And we know that Matt, aka Matt Reeves, I'm not friends with him, I'm just saying his first name because that's what you do really. We know that he's looking to go down the more detective route in his exploration of the Batman character, but if we can do this with a more brutal, hands-on, willing to use his fists and maybe some weapons sort of Batman, then that's going to be a very interesting take on the character indeed. Certainly when you've got the likes of Falcone running around, you've got the likes of Colin Farrell's Penguin running around, some nefarious characters right from the get-go, Paul Dano's Riddler. We're going to need a Batman, a green-nosed Batman, just coming into the role of the superhero, sort of vigilanteism. We're going to need him to be a bit different to what we've seen before, but of course it does open up the possibility of a very different Superman as well. We know that J.J. Abrams, a man very famous for rejuvenating characters which have maybe been on a low ebb, rejuvenating falling franchises. We know he's great at doing it. We know he has done this with Star Trek. We know he's done it with Star Wars. And even done it with Mission Impossible. So this is a guy who is completely capable of coming in, taking the Superman character as we know it, putting a new lick of paint on it, and rejuvenating it for a new generation. What better way to rejuvenate a famous, well-trodden character than by recasting him with a black man? Superman, for as long as I can recall, has been white. He's always been a white, tall, 6'4" guy with dark hair, brushed back, sort of slicked back. He's been the same guy. Christopher Reeves, was it Brandon Routh? I can't recall the middle guy's name. And of course Henry Cavill. They were the versions that I recall, and they've all been white. Now, Earth 2, I'm being set in Earth 2 again. I looked up Earth 2 and what that meant for Superman. Didn't even come to my mind that he could be a black version of the character. I've said before, and I'm absolutely for a black version of Superman. I don't give a fuck what colour his skin is. He's an alien. He takes on a human form. He can be anything. I searched it up, and lo and behold, it's Val Zod, a very different version of Superman. We've got a comment here. His only problem is having a base concept for a story and not knowing how to follow up exactly. He knows how to rejuvenate alien franchises, perhaps characters that have not been handled correctly, aka Superman and the DCEU. But we've seen before, time and again, he doesn't know how to continue those characters on. He doesn't know how to continue the stories on. He can't stick the landing. He buggered off from Star Trek and left it to pure old Simon Pegg. Thankfully, Mission Impossible was gave to good hands in Christopher McQuarrie, eventually. And then obviously we've got in Star Wars the absolute clusterfuck that was The Last Jedi with Rian Johnson, and then you move on to the Rise of Skywalker, disaster of a movie, all over the place, 40 million cuts, no coherent story, no coherent plan, changing up what they were doing every 10 minutes it seemed on the set. Was it going to be Obi-Wan's daughter? Was it going to be Palpatine? They didn't even know. That's J.J. Abrams. As long as he's not actually dealing with the evolution of the character, if he's just starting this journey of Val Zod and his Superman tutelage, then I'll be happy. I'll be happy with him handling it. It might not even be Val Zod, man. It may very well be Kal-El again. I don't know what route they're going down. For me though, that man there on the screen, I put it on my thumbnail too on YouTube. I think he would be perfect as Superman. Michael B. Jordan, a tremendous actor, raw physicality, amazing charisma, tall, dashing guy, bit of a woman's man as well. You see that in the press junkets. He's the sort of poster boy for Black Superman for me. I'd absolutely love to see that different variation of the character. It'd be really interesting if they went for a non-humanoid appearance for Superman. It would be interesting to explore a Black Superman as Steel. Man, that's another shout. I didn't even think of that. A different version, completely an alien form of Superman. Look, he's an alien character, so he doesn't have to be white. That's just been the form that has been consumed by the masses before. The biggest proportion of the population is white. Who do you cater it to? You cater it to white populations. I understand the rationale behind it. And he was white in the comics. It wasn't until fairly recently. I think the history of Val Zod was the sort of tenure of Barack Obama as president. It was created in 2014 or something, so very new take on the character. So look, absolutely, I've got no issues with the previous Superman versions. I love Christopher Reeve. I thought he was a great guy, very inspirational. What happened to him? Broke his back, became a sort of very inspirational, charitable guy. Even in his poor health, he was doing his best to help other people. And then of course, I think it was Brandon Routh didn't get a fair crack at it, really, didn't he? He was a continuation of Reeves' Superman. So I've got no issues, and I love Henry Cavill. I says it before, he had the potential to be the best Superman in history. Never gave the chance. He got one standalone movie, he got thrust into a Batman movie that no one wanted, really, apart from Zack Snyder. And then the horrendous Justice League movie. They tried to force him in as a cameo in Shazam. No one wanted that. Henry didn't want that. I didn't want it. He didn't get a fair crack of a whip. It looks as though they're done with Snyder. He ain't getting any more movies. That Ann Sarnoff, I think it was, from Warner Media came out and said they're done. They let him finish his vision, but they're finished. They're moving on. We know JG's got the Superman movie. We know that Matt Reeves is doing a Batman movie set in Earth 2. So it kind of makes sense, man. This is their chance to split off and go in a different direction with these characters, to do something different with the cinematic universe. Could be they use the Flash movie, going back in time, multiple versions of characters. Could be that that's not the way they use it to connect it all. I don't know. You don't want to lose Ezra Miller or Jason Momoa as those characters. You maybe could supplant them into that universe, or maybe it's completely separated. I don't know. I didn't know if Fox would be able to pull off the Boy Scout aspect of Superman, but then again, the movies never delve too much into his Boy Scout persona. Much better explored in the comics and cartoons. Look, I say time and again, we are complete novices when it comes to the comics. Actually, one of the few comics I have is actually a Superman comic, but just overawed by the sheer amount of graphic novels out there. I wouldn't even know where to start. So, but knowledge is probably rooted more, well, definitely rooted more in the movie side of things. So I can't sit here and say that I'm an absolute expert when it comes to all of the variations of Superman in the comics, but I can imagine that was the core stories. That's where the character was buffed. So it will be much more richer, his development, his backstory within the comics. And even in that Smallville TV show, I never seen that. I can imagine that flashed out the character a lot more. Don't know if they've done it justice, so I never did see Smallville. But he's one of my all-time favourite characters. He's an absolute Adonis of a character. He's been mishandled for so long now. The saying is momentum. Superman doesn't need momentum. It's Superman. He's one of the greatest comic book characters of all time. You put a movie out with the correct actor in charge, or portraying him, and the correct director, it will make you money. It's an absolute certainty. And if they bring in Michael B. Jordan, if they go with the black route, then it will make an absolute bomb, because you've seen how much money Black Panther made. The African American, the black communities across the world, it was a zeitgeist movement. That movie made $1 billion plus. It get nominations at the Oscars. And if it's a white character, it will make a fucking $1 billion as well, provided the story is there. Superman is a boy from Kansas who wants to go and help and do the right thing. Full stop. Exactly. And if he's alien, if he's white, if he's black, I'm happy. I'm more excited about the fact that it's in Earth 2. It's a new start. I'm excited for the Batman. I'm excited for Matt Reeves. I'm excited for Robert Pattinson. I'm excited for Colin Farrell. Just excited for that movie in general. Really looking forward to it. When no Superman exists, because we've seen actual costumes, Halloween things going on the set. Extras wearing the superhero costumes. So could it be? And he was white. So maybe it isn't Michael B. Jordan. Maybe it's not even set in the same universe. Maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves. But for me, I'd love it to be in the same universe. I'd love it to be a great story. I just want them to use this character better than what they've done for the last 20 years or so, because it's been really poor in the cinematic side of things, and they need to get their shit together. There's another TV show just now, I think Lewis and Clark or something, I don't know what the name of it is. I've seen Campere on YouTube saying it was great. Maybe I'll have to watch that. They need to handle these characters better. That is what I'm saying. But look, man, I'm going to move on to the next topic. Another comic, just quickly read that before I move on. I'm just happy Reeves' Batman is going to be a detective story, an aspect that Batman media has been lacking recently. Exactly, he's been a raw brute sort of figure. Vigilantism, it's focused on more than anything. I can't wait to see that. He's going back to the original comics. This guy knows his shit. He's got Jeffrey Wright, is playing Commissioner Gordon. Reading the comics, they're going back to the very beginning and exploring the detective side of things. We've got multiple villains: Falcone, Penguin, all his goons. We've got the Riddler in there. Going to tax the cerebral side of Batman, go down the detective route, and that's something I've not seen before, and I'm looking forward to it. I love the Nolan Batman movies, but I want to see something different. They've been done for nearly a decade. It's time to move on. They're gone. It's history. Speaking about this next, man, Borderlands, a movie that I've spoke about a couple of times. It really came to my attention when Cate Blanchett, or Blanchet, some people call her, get cast in this movie. That piqued my interest. The fact that it's Eli Roth as well, it's directing. He's a great director, and he done The House with the Clock in its walls, and it never get the balance quite right. It scared the little kids, wasn't quite scary enough for the adults. It had a Harry Potter vibe to it. But yeah, he's got a history for sort of dark action kind of movies, and he's doing the Borderlands movie, and he's bringing in another actor whose name is completely eluding me at the moment. He was speaking about it. I had 2 articles up. I've only got the one that doesn't speak about that actor up just now, so I'm not even going to speak about the actor. I'm going to speak about the Gearbox president, Randy Pitchford, confirming that the movie will not be set in the same universe as the games. Now, this is great news. I don't know what's coming up there. This is great news because I says when I last spoke about this movie, we're in a bit of a renaissance for video game adaptations. And that's a great thing. We've got Sonic doing its stuff. We've got Pokemon Detective Pikachu doing its thing. We've got a Uncharted movie coming out with Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. Hopefully that'll be good. Better quality video game movies being adapted. And they've all got that sort of common thread in that they're not chained to these stories from the actual video games. They're going and doing something different with the story. They're making that a movie. They're separating themselves from the games. Games are good, but they don't make the jump usually unless it's two of us, what am I fucking doing? The Last of Us. That kind of calibre of storytelling, then that could make the jump to a HBO Max series, a movie itself, but usually they don't. And this is good news, that he's actually confirming that it is going to be taking place in a different universe altogether, putting distance between the game and the movie, allowing the director to do his thing, in a sense, to the interested and the writer. The Borderlands cinematic universe is not identical to the Borderlands video game universe. Shock horror. We are authentic to characters, tone and style, but allow for independent storylines. The mediums are not the same, so the content should not be bound to the same rules. Exactly what I says in a more succinct and better fashion. Randy, well done. You've got a great name, and you said things a lot quicker than I was able to say, and I'm riffing here. I don't know how good this movie's going to be. I know the cast is there. Stupendous. We've got Jack Black in there, we've got Kate Blanchett in there, we've got Kevin Hart in there, Jamie Lee Curtis is in there. They've added a new guy whose name is eluding me at the moment, but the director, Eli Roth, very excited about it. Looks as though they've got the actual core of a very good cast. Looks as though the story must be good if Blanchett's getting involved. She's an Oscar winning actor. I like what they're doing, man, and as I keep saying, I'm just excited for the new wave of video game movies. We had enough Mario and Luigi shite, Mortal Kombat, Rampage, pish, crappy video game adaptations. It's time to get some good video game movies out there, starting with Uncharted in the next couple of years. I think next year it'll be out, and then hopefully bolstered by this Borderlands movie. Borderlands is a great movie, a great game. The aesthetics are cool. It's that sort of dystopian apocalyptic world like Mad Max. It's perfect, absolutely right for adaptation to the big screen, and then you've got Roth in there. It works. I'm not going to get too stuck on the topic because I'm gibbering a bit, but I'm excited for it, and I'm moving on from it. I've not even got the topic here. I'm going to have to again work on the topic as I'm speaking. I'm going to look what the topic actually is. It's Gladiator 2, and it's actually Chris Hemsworth. Russell Crowe, we know, is out in Australia just now. He's Australian, of course, he's out in Australia. But he's actually rumoured to have a role in Thor: Love and Thunder, much like the next topic I'm going to be speaking about, which is all about Jeff Goldblum. It's actually 2 topics along. And apparently he's been whispering in Chris Hemsworth's ear while he's been out in Australia about the potential of playing Maximus, his son. I had to son there because I nearly made an arse of it. And a potential Gladiator 2. And there's rumours coming about. I'll bring up the article here. It's coming in from MovieWeb. I'm going to click on it on my iPad because I cannot see the 28-inch monitor right in front of me because of the camera. I need to do a better setup than this. And he's been speaking about it, and I think it's him that's been speaking about it. There's rumours coming out. I don't know who's actually been speaking about it, but needless to say, someone has been speaking about it. There you go, Chris Hemsworth at a cricket match or a rugby match out in Australia. Oh, to be Australian during a pandemic when we don't have to sit in the house and do absolutely fuck all day. We've got another comment. Tales from the Borderlands is proof that a spin-off in the universe can work with witty writing and amusing characters. Exactly. And I think Eli Roth as the director has that wit and he has that brilliance in the mind to craft something unique in a movie. And you bring in Jack Black, you've got the laughs right away. You bring in Kevin Hart, you've got the laughs right away. You've got that charisma, the bounce. We've seen it in the Jumanji movies. You bring in Kate Blanchett, you've got that bit of class, brilliance. I like the dynamic of the actors, of the cast they've assembled. It's very exciting indeed. I hope it can be like Jumanji. Kind of similar, but better than Jumanji, but similar vibe, where it ticks all the demographics, it makes some big money, and we get some better movies in the future. This is what it's had to say. I don't know who it is that says it, but yeah, Russell thinks he could be the only man credible to play his son in a Gladiator sequel. It's a source, an anonymous source, an insider. They're carefully considering the concept for the long-awaited Gladiator sequel, and I've spent hours musing over script ideas. Blah 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 blah. She's often joked he could easily pass off as father and son, but they do kind of look like each other. Chris is in a lot better shape than Russell these days. Russell is packing the pounds. He put it on for a role. I think it's went beyond the role now because he's still keeping the pounds on. I don't think he can shake the pounds. I think he's happy. He's quite a chubby guy now. He's got a big bushy beard. He certainly can't play the Gladiator role anymore because he's dead in the world and he's just not in shape for it. So he's calling on his fellow Australian, his fellow Aussie, big Chris Hemsworth, an absolute Adonis amongst men. If you've seen this guy's physique recently, he's bulking for Hulk Hogan. This guy was already a joke. He's clearly hitting steroid cycles like crazy, so is his stunt double. This guy could play a Gladiator. He's got a checkered history though, Chris, when it comes to movies outside of the MCU. He's had a bit of a dodgy time of it. What was it, Master and Commander, The Other Side of the World or something? I think that was with Russell Crowe as well, funnily enough. A bit of a disaster. He had that one on Netflix, done okay, apparently. Netflix don't tell us how well movies do, they just cook the books and put out good information. They don't tell us if it's been a flippity-floppity flop. But in the main, he's done a bit dodgy outside of the Marvel movies, so he needs something to cement him as a solid actor outside of Thor. And this could be the movie to do it, working with a fellow Aussie and Russell Crowe. If the passion's there, the script's there, I see no reason why Chris can't slide into that role and do very, very well. I don't know if I even want a sequel to Gladiator. I don't think it could ever be as good as the original movie. It was amazing. It, of course, netted Russell an Oscar. I don't think you can ever top that original movie. I'd like them to get away from this shitey sequel stuff and just come up with more independent, unique storytelling. But if they absolutely must do it, then you can't do much better than bringing in Chris Hemsworth, a big 6'3", jacked to hell actor. And he's a good actor. He's charismatic, he's funny. You watch him in the press junkets, he's well loved. It'd be a different kind of story because he's a very different actor to Russell. He's not as broody and looking as though he's going to batter you know what in every time he stares at you. That's what Russell was like back in the early 2000s. You were genuinely worried to make eye contact with that guy. I would have thought if I was in his company, in case he actually tried to kill you. He was quite an angry guy at times. But it made for a very, very good performance in that original Gladiator movie, and of course it did. As I keep saying, net him an Oscar, so who's to question good old Russell and his ability in that role? I'm going to move on, man, because I'm prattling on again here. To the next topic, I love to speak about Chadwick Boseman, the late great, an absolute brilliant actor, a brilliant human being off the screen, sadly missed. I can't believe he's gone even now. And of course the awards season is rolling around and we've seen numerous nominations. He's been nominated umpteen times in the Best Actor category. We've seen it in the Golden Globes. And he was nominated in the Screen Actor Guild Awards as well, which have just took place, and he won the award. Now, I'm going to speak out in general about the actual awards ceremony, but it's more about Chadwick in truth, because I did see Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. It was a superb performance from the guy. His last ever movie. Suffering from stage 4 colon cancer. Can't even imagine what he was going through, and he still gave an energetic performance in that movie. He was still dancing around, larger than life, and that end scene and just some of the monologues he gave in that movie, it was just stupendous acting. He thoroughly deserves to be getting nominated for this role. It's not out of pity, it's not out of the whole posthumous thing. We've seen this push with Heath Ledger 10 years ago when he got nominated for The Dark Knight. He won it out of deserving it, in a sense. I can't think of the word. He won it on merit. That's the word I'm looking for. It will be the same here with Chadwick. If he goes on to win an Oscar for this performance, it will be on merit. He will have deserved to nudge out the likes of Anthony Hopkins and I don't know, whoever else is nominated for an Oscar, I can't even remember, it was about a month ago. But look man, yes, it came in here, it's coming in from the god-awful website that is Empire. You can never, ever get this website to align with the graphics I've got here. It doesn't matter if I zoom in or out, it looks fucking terrible, so I'm going to come away from it. Basically, he won the Oscar, he won the Screen Actors Guild Award, and there was a couple of other winners in there, a couple of big ones again. Judas and the Black Messiah came up big. We get Daniel Kaluuya winning in that. I hope that's, I don't know, prophetic for the Oscars too, because I love Daniel, and it was a great performance. I do love Lakeith in that movie too, he was great. They're both nominated for supporting acting roles, but Daniel was better, and he's a good London guy, so I want Daniel to win, and hopefully that's prophetic. We've got some other winners. I think Viola Davis was named in the leading role. I don't know if she won it. She wasn't that good in that role. She's a very good actor, but she wasn't that good. That was very much Chadwick's movie. Very, very much Chadwick's movie. And there was a couple of other ones, man. I'm not going to get too into the TV side of things. I don't really care about TV. Gillian Anderson won, yada yada, for The Crown. She plays Thatcher. I hate Thatcher. I'm not going to go into politics. It's not the time or place for it. Needless to say, I centred this around Chadwick Boseman. Very excited for Chadwick, man, to potentially win an Oscar posthumously. I think the guy deserves it for his career, for his contribution during his time on this earth, man. He was a great, great man. Sadly missed, as I did say, and I'm going to move on that note. I'm not overstaying my welcome. I spoke about it before when I says that Russell has been moseying on in with the Thor Love and Thunder crew. It's kind of confirmed he's in the movie. And we've got someone else moseying on in with the Love and Thunder crew. Sam Neill is in this movie. If you didn't see Ragnarok, he played an actor playing Odin in the movie, in a play. We get Matt Damon in there. We know we've got Melissa McCarthy in this next one. And they're all continuing this sort of stage thing that clearly Taika absolutely pissed himself laughing at. I did as well. And he felt it was too good of an opportunity not to bring it back. Well, needless to say, Sam's back. He's out in Australia, and we've got Jeffy boy, Jeff Goldblum, continuing these rumours, or continuing to have fun with the rumours that he is maybe in this movie. He's not confirming he's back as a Grand Master. I sincerely hope he is. That was a great performance in Ragnarok. He was absolutely brilliant. He's a zany, different, eccentric individual off the screen, and I just feel like that character is perfect for him, because that's a zany, eccentric, very different character. And as you can see here, he's at the Sydney Bridge, if that's what you even call it, Harbour Bridge, I'm pretty sure it is. Never been there, so I can't say. Needless to say, he's standing right next to Sam Neill. They go through this article and they say he could be in the movie, he could not, he might just be over vacationing in Sydney. You don't just vacation in Sydney these days, it's a pandemic. You can't just go over to Australia. There's rules in place for that. So he's definitely not vacationing in Australia. He's over there because he's in the movie and he's going to be playing the Grand Master again. Hello, Mike Porter. How you doing? Welcome in. I think he's playing the Grand Master again. I think there was unfinished business with that character. And look, a part of me still hopes that Loki can somehow turn up in this movie. I know it's not going to happen. He is going to come back to the main timeline at some point. We know in this Loki TV show, the Time Variance Authority with good old Owen Wilson are playing a big role. He's going to get up to some shenanigans with them. We know they're going to do some deal and he's going to come back to this main timeline. We know it's going to happen. It's just when he comes back to the main timeline. Does he come back in Thor Love and Thunder? Or is it at some juncture in the future? My preference would be for him to come back in Love and Thunder and try and stab Thor in the back again, because he just loves stabbing his brother in the back. That aside though, that's not even what I'm speaking about. I'm speaking about Jeff Goldblum. Man, I hope Jeff's back. I love Jeff. He's a great actor. I grew up with this lunatic and now he's doing jazz piano, so get him away from the piano, get him back in front of the screen. He's a very accomplished actor. We've seen this time and time again, man. I mean, he made Independence Day watchable. Him and Will Smith made it watchable. You see that abomination of a second movie. I don't know if he was in it. If he was in it, then I completely take back that he makes things watchable. But needless to say, I hope he's in it, man. The Grand Master was a very colourful character. I hope it comes back. And I'm still hoping that is Benicio del Toro dead in the MCU? Is the Collector dead? Did he get done in by Thanos in Infinity War? If he's not, I'd love to see the Collector, the Grand Master, all of these zany, eccentric guys getting together in one room and doing some crazy shit. I don't know what's going to happen, man. Time will truly tell, but I'm going to move on, man, to the final topic. That is not it. That is not Space Jam. This show has been a fucking shambles tonight. I do apologise. My topics have been a joke. I've not prepared for the show at all, clearly, because I've not got any of the right topics up. That's not it either. That's it there. And this is the final topic. We'll have to speak about Tilapia VJ, Joseph Tilapia VJ on this channel. Big South Indian Tamil actor. An absolute tour de force. A man for real good, positive change. He's a man of the people. He does a lot of good humanitarian work, politics work. We reacted to a video sort of mapping out the guy's career and his trials and tribulations in his life. And no better is this summed up. I say there, why Tilapia shows he is the man again. And this is where it's no better summed up here. We've got an election going on over in India just now, I think. I think it's an election. I don't actually know. I've not seen if there's any elections happening in India. But needless to say, there is an election happening. That has to be, because it says there he's riding to vote. And this guy, he's an absolute fucking superstar. And he's riding along with about 200 people to the polling station, getting out there and forcing people out to vote, saying, look, I'm doing it. That's a Scottish term. It slipped. Freudian slip. I'm doing it. I'm going out there and I'm voting. Why don't the rest of you come out on a bike and vote with me? I love this man. I think this sums this guy up perfectly. He's just superb. He's a charismatic dude. I like Jeff. Thank you very much for the little $2 tip there, man. We do appreciate that. We don't get many tips. I do appreciate that greatly, Mike. Thank you very much for that. The Loki trailer is fire. It is fire, man. We reacted to it. I think about 10 people watched it. That's why we don't react to many Western stuff now, because no one really watches Western trailers. But we enjoyed it. We enjoyed it tremendously. He's bickering between him and Owen Wilson. It looked really, really good. And the whole vibe of that. I'm loving what they're doing with these Marvel TV shows now. That we've got so many different vibes. We've got WandaVision doing its thing. And it's zany and it's different, and it's like 60s TV shows, 70s TV shows, 80s TV shows. Then we're getting mystic, witchcraft and all this crazy shit happening. We've got Ralph Boner coming in. And then we get Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and it's like a traditional sort of action story, but it's exploring important themes, racial themes, and the humanity of these superheroes. And then we get Loki, and it's a completely different vibe again. I'm excited for all of these Marvel TV shows. Thank you again for that tip, man. We do appreciate that. We don't get many around here, man. We appreciate it tremendously. This isn't our job. We do this for the passion, but we appreciate anything it's given. But look, man, VJ Sefi Paffy, Jesus Christ, I need to lay off the crack tonight, man, and get to my scratcher. Clearly it's getting late here. Yeah, it's up 12:27 a.m. here, and I've been out walking all day, so do bear with me, man. It's not Tilapia VJ, it's not VJ Sefipafi, it's Tilapia VJ. And as you can see, the man is riding to the polling station. Steven's going to clip this and put this out, man, and I'm going to be an absolute joke in this. But this is why I leave these things to the end, because I'm usually in a more high-spirited, carefree mood. But there's always that danger of me going off a cliff and making a complete tit of myself as well. Needless to say, it's not very long and winded. This is just showing my appreciation of Tilapia. He's just a great guy, a great human being. And he's a positive force in India. You can see it here, man. He's out there forcing people out to vote in this election. So hopefully they take his lead. They get out there and vote for whoever the hell Tilapia he's voting for. Hopefully it's the good guys. I don't know. I don't know anything about Indian politics. Hopefully it's not like the American election where it was very divisive. We had Tango Man. I don't know political leanings, so I'm not going to go into politics. I'll just leave that there. I don't know who you support, Mike, so I don't want to wind up the American audience, so we'll not speak about it. I'm a Biden supporter. But look, it is late for me. It's late enough that I'm going to bid you all farewell. I'm absolutely done in, man. I've got weight training to do as well. It's going to be a shambles. Absolute shambles. Then I've got to get my beddy bops. But look, man, that's going to round up the show. What is your thoughts on the topics I touched upon on this show tonight? What did you make about the Batman and Superman, JJ Superman, perhaps residing in the same universe? Earth 2. Could we have a black Superman in this upcoming JJ movie? Could it be Val Zod? What's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts on the possibility of these two characters sharing the universe? I certainly want to see it. I'd love to see Michael B. Jordan playing Superman. If it's not to be though, I will be happy just seeing the character handled correctly. What do you make about Borderlands not being you don't talk politics? No. I love to talk politics though. I always love to talk politics. I'll stick to British politics. It's very easy to hate on the Tories. the rich boys, the eating educated. But look, man, yes, what do you make about Borderlands? Is that something you're excited for? It's residing in a different universe to the games. I think that's a positive thing. It gives them creative freedom. What do you make about Gladiator 2? Do you think Chris Hemsworth should come in and play Maximus's son? Chadwick Boseman winning awards. Jeff Goldblum, you want to see him come back? All of the above, man. You can comment down below. If you've seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about, and you can share your thoughts. If you haven't, then that's absolutely fine. You can also share your thoughts about anything, the weather, politics. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Hit the follow button over on Twitch if you want to see more content like this in the future. And if you do, that's what you'll get. You'll see my ugly mush with Stephen tomorrow. We will be sitting together again because that tripod's not coming until Thursday. But look, guys, until then, bye-bye. Thank you again for that tip. I do appreciate it. I would like Maximus to be played, his son to be played by Chris Hemsworth too. I think he's an absolute Adonis of a guy. It just works, doesn't it? It works. And he's an Aussie. What more do you want in life?